I'd rather have you lie to me and tell me how you really feel. These emotions are hard to control. Love knows no limits, but you're right here and I still feel alone. These thoughts are so hard to control.
My name is Tiffany Elmergreen. Oh God. High school. I hated high school. I don't have good memories of that time. I'll hear people tell stories like, oh, I wish I could go back to high school or have these. I'm like, oh God, that is like the last thing I would ever want to do. The only time I would ever want to go back to high school is if I had the confidence that I do now and go back as a teenager. Otherwise, I wasn't like picked on constantly, but I was picked on here and there, and I'm just really sensitive, so that stuff really stuck with me. And I went to a academic school, so it was like a bunch of not straight up nerdy kids, but it was like we didn't have sports and we didn't have like regular extracurricular activities. It was all academic focused, but still kids are just like mean and sucked, and I never felt. I was really shy. I was a loner. I had like one best friend and then like a little group of like all the multicultural minority kids. We were all friends because there weren't many of us. And that was fine. Those people were great. And I had my one best friend. Otherwise, like, I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't speak in class. I wore my headphones constantly. We could go off campus, so I went off campus as much as I could. Went to school downtown, so I would walk downtown all the time and do stuff. And I wasn't like a bad kid. I never skipped class. I never got in trouble. I just hated being there. Yep. Oh my God, Steve, you remember some stuff. So there's this ska band called the 5 Iron Frenzy, and I probably started listening to them. Oh, I know when I started listening to them. I went then and saw them on Ska Mania 98 tour with Supertones and the Insiders. So I was 14 then, so I probably listened to them around when I was, I guess probably when I was 14. And we didn't have a computer, but we had web TV. Do you remember what that was? It was like access to the internet through your TV, and all you get was a keyboard. I don't even know if there was a mouse.
I think I vaguely remember seeing stuff
Yeah,
like that.
So you would log on to web TV, and you could only do limited things on there. Like, I couldn't get AOL Instant Messenger. I couldn't do chat rooms, but you could go on message boards, so that was like my one way to interact. So fell upon the 5 Iron message board. Probably not right away when I was 14. Oh, we probably didn't have web TV until I was like 16, so 99, 2000. Found the 5 Iron message board, and it's this really weird place on the internet. It's like, back in the day, like late 90s, early 2000s, it was actually about the band, and most people were Christian, and there'd be like different sections. There'd be sections about the band, and sections about faith, and sections about miscellaneous. Like, it was very much so about ska and 5 Iron fans. And then it just turned into this weird place on the internet because 5 Iron broke up in, I think, like 2003. And it's still going. In 2016, people still post on there. I probably posted on there a couple months ago. I check on it every once in a while, but just people became really close, and like I've met a lot of them in person, and I've been to a few weddings, and those weddings were people from the message board getting married. one of my best friends, she met a dude on there, and they have like 4 kids. It's a weird place. It's a very weird place, and yep. Yeah. I think I've struggled with depression at least from my early teens, but didn't even know what depression was until I was probably like 18. I just knew I cried a lot and had a lot of emotions and just hated life and school and myself. And so, yeah, I definitely struggled with that from early teen. Middle school is probably like my earliest memories of being depressed and not liking life or myself.
What was it like when you realized that's what it was?
I was really mad because the way I found out was I went to Calvin first year of college, and I was a really good student in high school, and I failed almost all of my classes except my art history class, and I decided I wasn't going back, and then my parents found out, and they're like, "You're gonna go to counseling," and I didn't want to go to counseling, and then I eventually did because I was forced to, and the dude was like, "Yeah, he diagnosed me with depression," and I was like, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense." It brought a lot of clarity, but he just like put me on medication right away, and I don't think I had strong opinions on it then, but after a year of being on medication, then I was like, "Oh, I don't want this," and I quit it cold turkey, and then tried different things after that. But I guess it helped me understand why I felt the way I felt, but it wasn't until I went to counseling on my own that I was actually given like tools, because I think that's really what I needed. I don't think my parents knew what it meant to be depressed. Like, I think my dad dealt with depression and didn't know. I just don't think our parents were educated about that kind of stuff, so they didn't have tools to teach me, and so I think I just needed tools to deal with it, and it's still a struggle sometimes, but at least I'm not in the dark about it.
Yeah.
I can do things to like at least have some movement forward. This summer was pretty bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, which sucks for like summertime. I did a lot of things, which was good for me to like go to the beach and go camping.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, I feel like I haven't struggled with it like that in a long time, which a lot of outside factors too. It wasn't for no reason. I was just in a place where I was frustrated with my life.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I do have like bouts of no memories from like 18 to 22.
Yeah.
I don't remember much. And I know I was super depressed and like didn't work, didn't leave the house. I was in school for 1 year, but after that I didn't go back. In 22 my dad passed away, so I have more memories after that, just because that was such a monumental thing, but I really can't tell you anything. I have like a few memories here and there, like when I was turned 21 I worked at a photo lab, so I kind of have memories of the photo lab. Otherwise I don't have any memories at all, or at least I'm not connected with them from then.
Right.
So
Yeah. Crappy or whatever.
yeah, there's a lot of things. I stepped down from my positions at church, like being a deacon and women's ministry stuff. And just because I felt like I wasn't in a place to lead, and feel like I didn't, like, those are such servant roles and I didn't have anything to give. But mostly, I would say the root of it, now that I look back on it, I think I'm just so I still am so frustrated, like, with where my life is and feeling like it's in a place where I don't have the control, and I'm mad because I don't have any control over it. Like, I don't like being 32 and alone. Like, was planning to get married and that didn't happen. and I really want a house, and I don't have a house. And the only thing that has gone right in my mind, in my great plan for Tiffany's life, is my career. Like, I have that, and it's really awesome and brings me joy, and it's just more than I could ever imagine. But all the other things that I thought I'd have by now, I don't. And then just being frustrated and like bratty about it. Like, people ask me, "Oh, are you mad at God?" And I'm like, I never really thought of myself like ever being angry with God, because I don't think he's doing these things to me. It's just the state of the world in my life. I'm more frustrated that, like, hey, you know my desires, and you know how like frustrated and upset I am, and like, what are you gonna do about it? So maybe I am mad at God, I don't know, but yeah.
You never cease to remind me that I don't know